Welcome to another episode of Tangled Rights. I'm one of your hosts, John Wayne Gacy.
And I am also John Wayne Gacy.
And today is the day that we're recording before All Hallows Eve. It's a fun day. I've always really liked Halloween. It's great.
So this is episode 77, which is more than 66. One more each. Is that something? That's nothing. I don't know.
11 more.
It's 11 more, but lucky numbers. So
77.
This was Alyssa's idea. Alyssa was sort of Alyssa's idea. We didn't do this last year.
It was her idea. It was Nom Chomskin's. We'll call it hers.
Who's Nom Chomskin's?
Nom Chomskin.
Oh, okay. Well, this is John Wayne Gacy did his makeup like this.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to vote who's got the better John Wayne Gacy. We'll put up the picture of what he looked like too. If you're just listening in audio, you are missing out.
I think you're going to be a little bit better, probably.
My wife did my makeup. I'll be honest.
Also, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, he had someone come do it. He had outside help. I did this myself,
and I think the eyes are blue.
And one of them they kind of look black. I don't know. I just wanted to differentiate us, but the bigger thing is probably BMI.
Wow. Okay, that's true.
You're not.
I'm glad that's the comparison you make for me with John Wayne Gacy instead of everything else that possibly could be there.
Married, has 2 kids. You have 5 kids. You're married. He ran a construction business. I wouldn't trust you to operate
construction business. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was a contracting business.
Okay.
It's called PDM, painting.
That's where you got all the boys, huh? So coincidentally, me and Justin just got back from Chicago.
We did
for a convention, and
extremely awesome.
I wasn't thinking of John Wayne Gacy at all, although there's a musical artist I like named Sufjan Stevens who has an album called Illinois. So I was listening to that a lot, and he has a song on there called John Wayne Gacy Jr., which is eerie, like just has an eerie sound to it. I don't know if you've ever heard it. If not, then we'll listen to it after this.
Haven't.
I like it a lot because it tells a story about John Wayne Gacy, kind of goes like a creepy vibe, but Sufjan has good songs. He has a song called Chicago that's like really popular. Anyway, I was thinking about this, and then I was like, man, like John Wayne Gacy, and then you brought up the Halloween idea, and it just all kind of blended together. We absolutely love Chicago. It was really pretty. Buildings were awesome, like really easy to walk around. Was surprised by that. Tons of people went up in the Sears Tower, Willis Tower, which was really cool. We rode the L train to the airport, which was a lot of fun, although it did
on the boat.
It did smell like urine there.
Not nearly as bad as New York subways.
Not nearly as bad as New York. So
it was a very clean city.
It was very clean.
Ridiculously clean. Yeah. The downtown area, I didn't see any slaves cleaning stuff up the way I had in like other cities that were extremely clean. The only other 2 cities that I think are
slaves.
I mean, Abu Dhabi and Dubai has a bunch of Bengali and people from Indonesia.
I thought you were comparing this to other American cities.
No, they might not be actual slaves, but they're essentially slaves.
Okay.
They make just enough money to send money back, but not enough to ever advance themselves in society. And right. I mean, they live probably a better life than they do in Bali or whatever, Bangladesh. But at the same time, like when you look into the contracts of it, it's pretty fucked. But the point is that they have these dudes running around in jumpsuits, like orange or red jumpsuits and trash cans. I saw some people with like a scoop and the trash scooper.
Sure.
But it wasn't as bad as there, but that was the next cleanest city.
Gotcha.
That I've been in. It's that size.
One other thing, the No Kings protest was going on while we were there, and we were trying to get across to our friend's hotel, and there was no choice except to go. We were in it right through it.
We protested.
It was pretty insane. You saw my video, right? That I posted. Oh gosh, it was.
No, thank you.
Well, when the protest happened last time here in Las Vegas, we had a few clients from getting charged with crimes, and one that got like a little roughed up by police. So we, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure which, got some business out of the last one. But Chicago, obviously, we don't practice in. But
nope. And the guy that I know that practices up there, he does like mergers and acquisitions, so it wouldn't have done him any good.
Nothing like that. So obviously John Wayne Gacy had some legal aspects to his case, his life.
Some illegal ones.
Some very illegal, but legal as well. So we'll go through his life. There is a tie-in.
I mean, I didn't think we were just going to talk about Gacy. But.
No, we won't just talk about Gacy, obviously. But let's talk about the legal stuff.
Yes.
He does have a tie into Las Vegas. When he was 18, 19, 20 years old, he moved out to Las Vegas. And then some people say it's kind of the start of his path. He worked at Palm Mortuary, which is one of the big mortuaries in town. And then one of the stories that he narrates a lot of his stuff, and he tells a lot of the stories of himself. Once he's on death row, he, kind of confesses and talks about everything. That one day he laid in a coffin with like a young boy, and like it kind of creeped him out, and that's what caused him to leave and kind of go back to Illinois.
Maybe don't lay in coffins with.
Well, his history and the analysis of serial killers is something that I think intrigues a lot of people. I'm not as intrigued by it, but I'm kind of like, you need to learn to try and avoid certain things. Like, I think, you do have to study these people to know what it is, but the obsessive people, it's just weird. So one of his stories is he had an alcoholic father who beat him. Like, that was a big part of it. And then also there's some stories that at 11 years old or so, he got hit by a swing set and he had brain injury after. And I think sometimes people try and rationalize it and like, hey, we got a point, like this could never happen to a normal person. This is the reason why it happened, instead of, our society's kind of messed up. Maybe, things just, bad people are brought out in the society we have, maybe. But he did face some legal troubles. Married a girl he met in Chicago, moved out to Iowa, worked for his father-in-law managing KFCs.
Yeah.
And that's when he got charged with sodomy. So
right, because
back when this was illegal, I guess, sodomy.
He had it was basically gay interaction with a younger guy. And then the guy freaked out and told his dad. But also, like, if you watch the documentary, and I started watching it, some of the people that dealt with him make it sound like he did some crazy things.
Yes.
And he would always couch it as like, oh, I'm a student of psychology and I'm trying to study if I can break you. That's why I suggested that we bang each other. And when you said no, I snuck up behind you and pointed a gun and said to bang me. And when you said no again, I couldn't break you. What? I'm not falling for that shit. Not again. That only works on me once.
So,
come on.
Iowa.
I'm a clown.
Wow,
I'm funny.
Yeah, we're creepy clowns. Iowa has had his sodomy charge, had a 10-year sentence, only served 18 months, and then got out of there, back to Chicago.
After raping a boy.
Yeah, he did.
Essentially.
He did. He was married and had 2 children, and then got served divorce papers after the sentencing, and then never saw his children ever again. He ends up getting married a second time when he moves back to Chicago. His mom helps him buy a house. That's kind of like the start of the downturn for him when the crimes get real heavy. I don't want to talk about all those because
let's just big picture.
Big picture. I'll talk about lots of
33. Yes.
33 under his floorboards. It's just insane.
28 identified, 5 unidentified. But that's the crazy thing. So there's other stories that I looked up, and one of them I wanted to talk about. So I was looking up Halloween things, and everybody knows the story of Candyman. And there's 2 killers that get tied into that. But the crazy thing is that these serial killers in the 70s were able to just do shit because teenage boys would just go hitchhiking and disappear, and everyone was like, well, he was kind of a rough around the edges, misunderstood, fly by the seat of his pants, didn't have a dad, single parent household, probably just ran off to join the circus. Oh, well. Meanwhile, they're dead under a rock.
Those are the kind of people that get
and that's what was happening.
lost.
They were targeting, and this other guy, his name was Dean Coral, and it was in Houston. Same thing. Ended up killing like 30 people. Raping them, torturing them. It was all young boys. And it's like, it might have been, what year was Gacy active? It was like the late 70s, right? Because this dude was between 70 and 73.
I know he was here in 60.
I want to say
it might
70s.
have been late 60s, maybe, early 70s, but it could be 70s.
Was the guy that ended up getting him caught, the one that he took from the pharmacy, and then 78 was the last one, or vice versa. But either way, 70s, for sure 70s.
You're right. 72 through 78.
So in
right?
the 70s, you find some, vagrant, you just murder him.
Well, and this is there's an important story here, maybe legally, maybe.
They both killed 33 people?
No,
John Wayne Gacy has 33. That if you ingratiate yourself into your community, sometimes you can seem to get away with things. Like there's some that are saying maybe like local political parties had an influence. Like, no, John's a good guy because everything
he's a Democrat. Everything
about him is he's very affable. Like people loved him. Like there's a reason that he gets married twice. You know, people like him. There's people like that where it's like, but also, everybody likes him, but then there's some people that are like, my senses are going off.
He was full of himself and he was kind of a douche. That's not what they don't use the word douche, because one of them was like, pardon my language, that was a load of crap. It's like, brother, that's not a bad word anymore.
Sometimes that breeds success, right? Believing in yourself leads to success.
You have to believe in yourself. Who else is going to? Nobody else believes in you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, not like you do.
Right.
Kind of like me. No one fucking cares about me, but I care about myself because I have to.
If we disappeared, right? Like a few people would be upset, but we wouldn't have like crazy worldwide issues. So, one of the issues that gets challenged up to the Supreme Court, there's actually a case, People versus Gacy, because they challenge the search warrant into John Wayne Gacy's home, amongst some other things. Like he admitted to a lot, but then he did go to trial and tried to say an insanity kind of thing, like, hey, I'm guilty by insanity.
I'm obviously insane. Yeah. Why else would I cut people up and put them underneath my floorboards after I raped them?
Which the jury didn't end up buying because there was so much other factors of, no, he was a good person. He wasn't just crazy. You know, he was normal. He understood what he was doing. So
was normal.
I
think that some of these crimes, like you almost have to presume that, yeah, he's crazy.
There has to be some aspect
crazy
of
versus incompetent versus insane. A flat out insanity defense is a totally different thing, right? Like competent to stand trial, not insane in the definitional sense, but insane in the like human sense.
And that some people misinterpret competency, which is something we were dealing with just today. Competency versus insanity. Okay, so competency is understanding your charges.
Ability to assist in your defense.
You have to be able to assist in your defense. That means you have to be able to tell your attorney what, how he should argue the case or what your position is.
I wasn't even there
on arguing the case.
Well, Your Honor, my client didn't do it. So now you know.
So this has been something we've had competency hearings. Sometimes we had a guy who was not competent but needed medication, and he got back to a sane place where he could then talk to us about what happened.
He was so extremely schizophrenic that you couldn't even have a conversation with him. Like the most lucid sentence I heard him say was two of them. And it was in his in-court evaluation. He said, they asked him some question. He goes, whatever. He said, I'm the president of the United States. Okay. That's the longest sentence I'd heard him say at that point.
Yeah.
And then he asked a couple more questions, and the guy goes back to his like, and then finally the guy says, can you leave this room? Yeah. How can you do that? He looks right at him. He goes, didn't I just tell you I'm the president of the United States? And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this coming from? Like this guy, I'm like, hey, he said a full sentence.
Then we went and visited him after, he got back on his meds.
Night and day.
And he's like, I don't even remember any of that.
He's like, I think I remember meeting you. And he was like super nice. He's like, oh,
he was very nice and polite.
Very nice to meet you. Like soft hands and like just the weirdest little dude. Off meds, just so schizophrenic. He doesn't even know what's going on. I mean,
his own brain is.
I would love to be able to look through, like, how the drunk glasses, but have the schizophrenic glasses to just see what this fool sees. Like, I've seen it, but I want his.
His was pretty bad. So competency, very hard to not be found competent in cases.
That one in particular, he wasn't found competent. 7 evals. 7.
Well, that's because he refused to talk. Like,
because he was so fucked up, he couldn't talk.
I understand that, but the
doctor's just like, he's malingering. He's competent. It's fine. Fuck him.
Malingering meaning faking.
Malingering meaning, he's faking. I guess he's faking a diagnosis.
I didn't know that word before I got into deeper legal work, so that's why. Yeah,
I learned that malingering. When I was a kid.
Or you were called a malingerer a lot, I guess.
No, because there were a couple of dudes. There were a couple of dudes in that organization that I belonged to when I was younger that would like get hurt because they didn't want to train, and then they would kind of like milk it. And they called it malingering. You get in trouble.
Okay, well, a word I didn't know. Did you know that word before? Malingering.
That's but I learned it because of work.
Okay, well, malingering, faking it. They just thought he was faking it.
Yeah.
So competency, kind of easy to overcome. You know, this guy gets his meds and then he's competent.
Yeah.
But insanity, a totally separate thing, which
It's
then,
an affirmative defense.
Then is the defendant has to argue and prove, hey, I'm insane, and they can use a psychologist, psychiatrist to do that. And then that it doesn't make you not guilty.
It's an affirmative defense.
It's
a defense to the crime.
But you can be guilty while insane. Right?
Yes, that's true. You can be guilty but insane, but you can also be not guilty by reason of insanity.
So if you completely just, acted on this insane. But somebody who repeats a crime is something that they're facing, which is... Anyway, this was a published decision, People versus Gacy, as we talked about last week, when somebody is facing the death penalty, as Mr. Gacy was, and he's eventually, dies by lethal injection. There's appeals that go on. There's motions that happen all the time. So this is a case that gets published. So I'll tell you a little bit about what published decision means versus unpublished. Anything that gets appealed has to get heard by whatever appellate court in the state. So he's tried in the state. So the Illinois Supreme Court hears his case, and they have to render a decision on it. Okay, one way or the other. It can be unpublished, which means it's a final decision, but it doesn't affect any other cases. When a court publishes a decision, that means that it can be citable and it's good law for other cases. So the analysis that the court does on whether the search warrant's good, whether his insanity, attacking the insanity defense is good, is something that can be cited in other cases, which is just insane to me that like William Gacy becomes like the case that people would cite to. Like most of the cases we cite are like, we don't know who the people are at all. It's just the court's interpretation of law. They're not famous.
I don't know.
This.
Some of them are like Miranda. I wouldn't know
Miranda became famous because like he's not a famous person outside that. Miranda became famous because of the situation. You know?
Like situationally, yeah.
They become famous because of the case. It's not like...
But also Miranda didn't murder 33 boys and rape them.
No.
And then chop their bodies.
I think he had like some drug possession or something like that. Like something pretty... To some people. Some people.
Did we declare war on murdering boys?
No.
And chopping them up?
There's a war against...
Have we thought about that?
Yeah.
No more murdering and raping boys.
Have we?
We'll stop it.
Have we thought about that?
What's up?
So when we do our briefs and it's like there's a citation... They're not brief. There's a quote in a case,
What is this shit all over the desk? There's like dust.
My wife put up this frill stuff.
Oh, and it got...
Halloween frill stuff.
Got sunshine.
Maybe the spider.
Sunshine dust. Marjorie Stewart Baxter,
the spider
you taste like sunshine dust.
You can't really even see the spiders.
Hubert Cumberdale, you taste like soot and poo.
That's what it is. These spiders from the dollar store. Oh.
I'm going to send you a clip. You got to clip it.
I wonder what you taste like. Marjorie Stewart Baxter, you taste like sunshine dust. Ugh. Hubert Cumberdale, you taste like soot and poo.
Marjorie Stewart Baxter
is so weird, but it's a good Halloween fit.
It's creepy.
Good fit for.
If you never watched Salad Fingers? There's like 8 episodes. They're brilliant.
All right, I don't want to talk anymore about John Wayne Gacy.
Okay, skip John Wayne Gacy. Fuck him.
Unless
he's dead.
Now Jeffrey.
Now,
no,
not Jeffrey Dahmer. Now we're going to talk about Candyman.
All right, tell me about Candyman.
Case of the Halloween Candy Killer. And this is one that we all have heard about.
Sure.
In a roundabout way. Because they always talk about certain candy not to eat. Right? Remember that? Like, don't eat this candy. Don't eat candy that's previously been opened. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that was because in 1974, also in Houston, some guy used cyanide to poison 4 kids. His name was Ronald Clark O'Brien. And so basically this fucking idiot, he was $100,000 in debt and he needed to make some money. So he took out 2 life insurance policies for $30,000, one each on his children, by cyanide. And then O'Brien, the guy, took the kids out, and there was a house that was dark, and the kids wanted to skip it because it was dark. There was no light on, and he waits till they go, and then he goes up to the house and says, "Oh, they gave us some pixie sticks. Pixie sticks are like flavored dust, like
flavored
salt,
sugar.
Yeah, flavored sugar.
Colored sugar.
And so the ends of the containers, which if you look at it, they come in like a little straw. There's a paper straw or like a plastic straw. The real good ones, thick ones, as big around as your thumb and like 3 feet long. You beat the shit out of each other with them, which is what we used to do. And then we get all hyped up and beat each other more. So he gives them to them, and the ends of them are stapled shut. Like not even like you tried, used. No, not even like you used like a curling iron or something to try to seal it because it's plastic. It's just stapled. And he gives his son Timothy cyanide.
Oh.
Immediately kills him. Like a cyanide pill, like the Nazis used and shit, just fucking kills his kid. And he testified that he held his son as he died. The neighborhood looked for other poison candy. They found other sticks in children's bags. Eventually, the police learn, as they do when they're investigating things, about the life insurance policy and the fact that he bought cyanide and that his son died of cyanide poisoning. He was found guilty. 46 minutes of deliberation, he was ordered to be executed. A lot of challenges went up, but the execution was carried out in 1982. Carried out in 1984. And the crazy thing is whenever he was executed, people stood outside of the penitentiary shouting "trick or treat." But the big thing here is I remember this because, when you're a kid, your parents told you not to eat like the, the popcorn balls. Remember they'd give you those things?
Yeah.
And then let's not do this anymore.
There's some homemade stuff, yeah.
Yeah, homemade stuff, basically don't do it unless it's a family member, but apparently even if it's your dad, don't do it. Just don't. Yeah, if your dad had a bad day at the tables, don't eat his candy. You'll die.
And they call him the man who killed Halloween.
The man who killed Halloween or Candyman were the two nicknames.
Which is
the Candy Killer.
The Candy Killer, which is interesting to me because I looked at, have you ever seen this about Jenga sales after 9/11, like 2001 to 2002, Jenga sales went down so much, and then 2003, everybody decided it was long enough where it was over. And nowadays, people make 9/11 jokes.
Never forget, dude.
Like crazy, which is
That's
the
funny.
Jenga thing always is hilarious to me.
That's
And then
strange.
how long will people give up Halloween? I'm sure in the Houston area, you said
Probably more serious.
19 whatever the next year, it was probably down quite a bit.
Sure.
Where people are like, is Halloween
I
ever
wasn't
going to
even
happen
born
again?
until 1986, so it didn't affect me.
I guess so.
And I loved Halloween as a kid. I always
I
thought
did
I was
too. It was so
I
fun.
was super clever because I would use a pillowcase rather than a bag.
Ooh.
Because it didn't break when the big kids tried to take it from me.
You had kids trying to steal it from you? Oh.
They just let us go. And so when you're a little kid, if a big kid grabs your bag and dumps it into his, you're fucked. That happened to me once. He ripped my bag. And after that, I used a pillowcase. And then you could also swing it. So what I would do is I would put rocks in my pillowcase when I started the night.
Oh, okay.
If you come near
Get
me to
some heft.
take my bag, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you because I'm smaller than you, but I'm meaner than you. So come take my bag. Fuck boy.
Wow. Do you have a name in mind when you're saying this?
I may have a name.
Okay. Well,
I may have a name.
Just curious. I guess we won't.
Yeah, take my bag, fuck boy. But then also, it was just nice because the pillowcase is huge. You always thought, I'm going to go out and get 70 pounds of candy. You got bored and you went and played Manhunt or you threw eggs at cops or whatever. Come on. Let the boys play, ref.
All right.
Next one. Also called Candyman Killer. And the reason that he was
also in Houston.
Also in Houston. The reason he was called Candyman was because his family had owned something called the Coral Candy Company. And he would give out give out candy to the kids in the neighborhood. So this one was a crazy situation because he killed at least 29 people, but it's probably a lot more than that. It seems like he probably killed several more. He had two accomplices that were also children, David Owen Brooks and Elmer Wayne Henley. So Brooks became an accomplice before, and basically what this dude did was he went to him and he was like, listen, I'm going to buy you a 1969 Chevy Corvette, and I'm going to give you $200 per boy that you bring. You get him over here, we'll tie him up together. And he ended up buying him the Corvette a little bit later, but he was giving him money every time. And these kids, what they would do is they would tell these other kids, hey, we're going to go over here and just hang out. Or they'd be like, yo, this guy will let us drink and smoke weed. And so at first, it seems like with anything else, the people sort of escalate in their behavior. Because at first what he would do is he would just get these kids fucked up. And when they'd pass out, he'd handcuff them. Right? And what did they say it? He called it marine grade plywood. It was a torture board this dude would like strap these kids to. And some of them, he would keep them for 4 days. Like torturing them, burning them, raping them. Like, and I don't get it. That's the part that's, I mean, I don't get any of it, but I really don't understand like why these grown men want to do this to like teenage boys. And his victims were between the ages of 13 and 20. And Gacy's, I think, were similar. But yeah. Gacy had like a type, right? They were all fair skin, light hair, small build. This guy was just like teenagers. And it's, I don't know, man. It just seems weird, right? I mean, it's weird in general, but like add in the sex part, and it's even weirder to me. It's not just like, oh, you know, I've got some kind of problem. I want to kill people. I have no empathy, whatever. It's like, I want to torture them, rape them, and then kill them. I want to say
that's what they say. Anyway.
Something happened to him when he was younger. He had a bad relationship with his dad. He was in the army in the 60s. He never had any issues. He hated being in the military. Let's see. Strict parents. They divorced. Bunch of relocation. I mean, nothing crazy. He was shy. He was rarely around other kids. But when he was a kid, apparently he displayed concern for the well-being of others. He was sensitive to any form of criticism or rejection. He did have rheumatic fever when he was a kid, which can fuck you up, can kill you, fucks up your heart. I mean, nothing major. I mean, it's not telling me anything crazy. I mean, he was in band. He played brass instruments, so maybe that's why. Okay, well, did you play brass instruments? Then shut up. You don't know anything about his life. Okay?
I think it's interesting that this and the Gacy case, like I grew up as a kid and it's like clowns were scary. And I was, you know, you hear don't take candy from strangers, right?
Yeah, that affected our lives. Kansas and in Nevada.
And I'm like, I don't know why, that's just a thing. And then I grew up and I learned like clowns were like a socially accepted, like it was an American.
Google the name Emmett Kelly.
Okay, I will, but let me finish my point. They were something accepted that people loved.
Point with this.
Clowns were fun and funny. Then John Wayne Gacy is like, you know, coined as one of the people that clowns are not cool anymore. Like clowns are murderers. And then the It movie as well, I think Stephen adds King. To that. But I think that's inspired by John Wayne Gacy.
That's him.
And then
look at where he's from.
And then, is he from Kansas?
He's from Sedan, Kansas.
Oh, wow. Hey, look at that.
And he's a world famous clown. He was a sad clown back in the 30s.
Yeah,
that was his whole shtick. But the point being, he was like, yep.
And when black and white, you know, you can see face paint. Yeah. You can see the color change instead of the coloration we have now and do faces. And
it was like during the Depression and he was always sad with his.
Kind of cool. Yeah. Cool things
like
that.
I don't get. Like if I'm depressed because I'm broke, I want to laugh at something. Not like, he sucks. His life sucks too.
And then you grew up. Fuck us. You grew up in the Midwest or the South, where you think people, or I'm saying both these areas where you think people are kind. They hand out like candy or whatever, and like if your neighbor gives you candy, that's just free candy. That's awesome. They're being awesome and nice to your neighbor.
I do remember.
You can't accept that anymore.
I do remember having handmade stuff. There were a couple places. So the Habercorns would give out full-size chocolate bars. You got to hit them twice. Okay. But you usually need to change something because they tried to.
I'm
fucking falling for that. Oh, you already got a Snickers, bitch. Get out of here. But you hit that one, and then there were a couple others. I want to say there was a place that made their own like Reese's cups, and they were delicious.
Okay,
they were great, and you eat them right then, right? The other candy later in the night, but that one you just eat right there. And one time there's a little bit of cyanide in it, and my buddy got it, but I lived.
Because I got a lady from church, and she makes like flavored popcorn, and she'll just put them in Ziploc bags, give them to my kids. But I know her, right? Like,
right.
I know her. But
and if she cyanides them one day, you'll be able to grab a hold of her.
Yeah.
Right then and there.
Yeah. Like somebody I know and trust.
It's not
it's
going to
kind
happen,
of like,
but you get with the point.
It's just different now. Like you'd think a stranger, because I guess now nobody trusts anybody, right? Like if there was a stranger that handed you candy, you'd walk up and be like, well, who are you? Like, why would you give me?
Is it chocolate and peanut butter? I guess I mean
you might get Justin that way.
You get me. If you got a puppy in your van, or chocolate and peanut butter,
Nutella, you tell
every
them
time.
There's lizards.
Fireworks also works on me, apparently.
Lizards too. Being able to pet lizards might get you.
I can pet it.
Yeah.
How big is it?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Is it a big? We got Queens? Full colonies? What are we talking about here? Mimosistis mexicanus, placodops, Parapoda clavata. Oh, Solenopsis invicta. Nice. Nice. Solenopsis geminata is the subspecies of Nevada.
Feeding stingrays apparently as well.
That's so much fun.
That was fun. Did I tell you we did that? We went to the
And some little kid was like, "Oh, you got any extra?" And I was like, "No, bitch, I paid for this. It was $5. Tell your broke mom to go buy some."
It was weird.
You're like, I'm an adult now, but I can still do. I have adult money.
And we did.
I mean, but also, I was poor as fuck, dude. We'd go on vacation to Branson, Missouri. I slept in a fucking hammock in a campground, which was awesome, dude, because you'd get all the white trash kids running around doing white trash feral shit at night. My parents were probably off drinking or whatever, hanging out, grilling with the other parents, the other white trash parents. Who knows what they were doing. But we'd all get together and just run around, like throw somebody in the dumpster, go down to the lake. Don't go to the river. We'd go to the river every fucking time. It's like, oh, if you're going to drown. Nobody ever drowned that I'm aware of. I didn't watch anybody drown anyway.
That I'm aware of.
But also, I didn't know all these kids. I was like, I think that we're all here. There was like 12 of us. There's 10 now. They're probably, whatever. That's also where, that was where I got my first real kiss. Ooh. Was out in one of those places.
Oh, wow.
Some other white trash girl couldn't even tell you her name.
You know what? Nice. I'm thinking about going to Branson soon because there's some really good golf courses around there.
You should go to Silver Dollar City. Nice. You could ride Fire in the Hole.
I don't know where that is, but
it's in Branson.
I'll think of your childhood when I go there.
Don't get too traumatized.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was good. It was like, I mean, looking back, it's like, it's one of those weird things because at the time, you just think it's awesome. It's fun, right? We get to go. I get to sleep in a hammock. It's great. I'm out in the outdoors. And sure, I get chewed the fuck up by mosquitoes, but like, whatever. It's all right. And then get to hang out with these other white trash kids and I don't know them. And like the whole time you're getting ready, you're like, man, I'm going to meet some cool guys. We're going to do cool guy stuff.
It's just east of where you grew up too. It's not far at all.
I mean,
Branson, right?
No, but it was like kind of a big deal.
It was a big deal. That's fun.
And it was fun. So like at the time you think back on it, but then you hear these other kids,
I grew up in Hawaii. I grew up there. We lived there. My dad was in the Air Force assigned there.
Hawaii for 7 years. I lived by the ocean.
Well, I mean,
whatever. You get the point, right? Like, and then if I compare Branson to Oahu, right?
Oahu, yeah.
Like Oahu probably wins. Think about it. Not only could you do white trash shit, but you could also do white trash shit with like Polynesian kids and throw chameleons at each other. I didn't have any chameleons to throw at anybody.
We had geckos in Hawaii, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Kampala. I'm thinking, I got a friend who was a missionary, or her parents were missionaries, and so she was raised in Kampala, which is Uganda.
Okay.
And she tells this story about like, when you're little and you don't really know about like hurting an animal, like you don't understand, like you're not supposed to pull the cat's tail.
Sure.
She tells this story about grabbing a chameleon and like throwing it at the fence and it killed it. And she was like traumatized because she didn't like, you're little, you don't really know. And it's like, I don't know, that's where I got the throwing chameleons thing from.
Yeet. One funny story real quick. Since we lived in Hawaii growing up and then we moved to Las Vegas, my little brother was 6 or 7 and he's like, my parents were like, well, we got to turn on the heater. And he said, what's a heater? Like he didn't know because
he'd never been.
Hawaii's weather is
perfect,
fantastic. Kansas growing up, I'm sure the winters were just
it's basically perfect. It's
killer.
It's like in the wintertime it's -10 and in the summertime it's 110. It's great.
That's horrible.
What do you mean?
That's horrible.
Right, yeah, it's 120-degree shift. That's great.
That's horrible.
And like the window that was on the north side of the house that was closest to my bedroom. Like if you'd stick washcloths underneath the gap, like the wind didn't really blow through that much.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
Not all that much.
Yeah. We got an air conditioner, I think, the first time when I was like 11.
Hey.
Yeah, summer sucked.
All right.
That's another reason I spent a lot of time outside.
Yeah.
Well, being inside blew.
That makes sense. Yeah,
but not really, because all we had was a fan. It was like,
the heat gets trapped. Yeah.
Turn around and come in. Oh,
God, I'm going to die.
Jesse hogging up the corner.
All right. I think we've talked about the next story a little bit.
Did we finish that one?
I don't think we did.
Tell me. Okay, so yeah, he murdered 29 plus. These kids, he would trick them into it. But the big part, the thing that happened at the end, his second accomplice, because the first guy jumps off with him right away. Let me see. Brooks, who died in prison. Henley gets in later, but Henley's ultimately the guy that kills him because Henley brings some other dude over, but he also brings a chick. And this guy, Coral, freaked out about him bringing a girl. And so he ends up tying them all up and he's going to kill Henley. And Henley convinces him not to. And then he grabs a gun and he shoots Coral and turns himself in. They weren't going to turn anything in. They were just going to leave. But two of the other kids, the girl and the other boy that he was with, convinced him to turn himself in. And they both ended up doing life.
I mean, that's tough because they're so impressionable. Like we've had clients who are pretty young, right?
I mean, I think they were
and
like
they get
14,
involved
man.
with friends, and there's like gang kind of ideals, you know, where hey, we stand up for each other because we don't have anybody else to rely on, kind of thing.
So in '67, Brooks was 12. So that means in '73, he would have been 18.
And that's young. Like he was
But you
raised
start when you're 12.
He was raised by a serial killer, you know,
Essentially,
like
yeah.
what would you expect him to be like? But again, can he ever be remodified, like rehabilitated to go back in society and be expected to be normal either?
Another thing
Like that's a tough question.
that struck me is this guy was always letting him like sniff paint
Oh, he's
in
getting
his
them
house.
hooked on drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were always smoking weed and sniffing paint and shit. And like, I don't know if any of you guys know any huffers, but it fucks
There's
their
like
brains
a
up.
codependence there too.
Yeah.
That's
Both dropped out
rough.
of high school. They're both little nerds, you know, like.
Makes you want to just go home and hug your kids a little tighter, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. Whenever he decides he wants to be hugged, all of them.
well,
This morning he was like, no hugging.
do not touch me.
Do not touch me.
Do not touch me.
Because what he can't say
Did
cuddle.
you have the face
No,
paint
I
on in
didn't.
the morning?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go home to wash it off. So I wonder what he's gonna think.
Yeah.
So he can't say cuddle. He says cuddle. Like when he wants a hug, he says
Uh-huh.
cuddle.
Yeah.
Do you want to cuddle? No. And then he'll go Mac, and it's like, yep, that's Mac. All right, cool. I'll fuck myself. See you, bud.
That's one of the funny things as a parent is like you have these diverted words that like you change the name for things like
Cuddle.
Like
I say cuddle now.
for one of my kids we say gungle, like you want to gungle because it's
Like Gungle Jackson
same,
boxing the
same
ball.
thing. Couldn't say cuddle,
Oh, Gungle.
like cuddle, snuggle, gungle.
Sure.
Like
Snuggle.
there's just words like that you kind of change.
Yeah, no.
It's
good.
just interesting to me.
Yeah, so he shot him, shoots him like 5 times, kills him, and then they got convicted. The bodies were buried in like 4 different places. And basically what they would do is they would either, when they'd kill him, they'd either shoot him with this 22 or they'd strangle him, wrap him in plastic, bury him. But the big thing is that he did keep a lot of them for several days, you know, a lot of really, really bad stuff. So, sucks.
We're talking about I'll talk about a more lighthearted Halloween story.
Only 20 people killed.
Stambovsky versus Ackley. This is one I told you about. We learned this in property law. This case, because of the subject, has been kind of popular and people just think it's funny. It's called the Ghostbusters ruling. So in property law, we learned about this because somebody was selling a house and they didn't list anything about the house. They just sold the house. Lo and behold, before they had put in the news and Reader's Digest and had tours that this house was actually haunted, that there were things stolen in the house. So the Court of Appeals, which is the highest court in New York, the Supreme Court
Yes,
is like the
I'm
intermediate.
aware of this. It's weird. It's backwards.
You've kind of been around there, so a little backwards there. But the court decided that as a matter of law, the house is haunted. That's their quote from it. So if you put out that the house is haunted, that is something that you do have to disclose prior to a sale of that house.
A lot of people would like that, though.
So
Danzig in Oxygen Hunger Force.
some people would higher the value, right, of a home. For some people, they wouldn't want to be associated with the house that they would even
Depends on
think,
what kind of ghost it is.
Is it a friendly ghost?
Not even that. Like, as long as it's not like a mean ghost. If we're not talking about Insidious over here, if we're just talking about a ghost that every once in a while jump scares me, I'm down. That's fine. I'll pay an extra like $50,000 for that.
Yeah.
It's less.
But also, like, does it make the house like rain blood? Sprinklers sprinkle blood?
No, they were just like, and it wasn't even that crazy. They just had toys.
feet.
They had toys that were lost. Like that was the theory.
Wait
was
a
the
minute.
Toys that
Wait
were
a minute.
lost.
They have
Yeah.
children, and toys get lost. Must be ghosts. Just kidding. Never
And
known a 2-year-old to lose anything.
One ghost would wake their daughter by shaking their bed.
Do you know anything about bed shaking, Shane?
There's nothing else about that we're going to talk about.
There's nothing else about bed shaking you want to talk about?
Wow. So
No, I mean like, a third party shaking a bed.
Ghostbusters ruling is what this is called. As a matter of law, the house is haunted. That is the story. That's why it's interesting. That's why we learned about it in property
When
law.
you put your makeup on, I have a question about yours. Did you have to soak the makeup in water to get it to work?
No,
Oh, I had to.
not at all.
Like mine, I had to dip the sponges in the
you
water.
must have bought some ghetto stuff then.
Probably.
Yeah.
Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
Other fun, not fun, but crazy part to this. So one of the kids, and I forgot this until I was scrolling through, one of the kids had said that the guy initially didn't kill the person they brought to him in front of him. He started out just saying, "Oh, I'm selling him into like a sex slavery," essentially, as if that was any better. But it turns out after they busted this, like after they found all the bodies, in 73, 2 days after they uncovered the final bodies in Dallas, they discovered a nationwide homosexual procurement ring operated by John David Norman. There was a card filing system with a bunch of names. Well, it turns out that the names and photographs were of several of his victims. Their pictures were in there.
Trophies kind of thing?
Huh?
Like trophies?
Either trophies or he did actually sell them into. And so, but here's the point of this. Think about all the people in the 70s that went missing because they were ne'er-do-wells or whatever. Young boys, 19-year-olds, 18 or 16-year-olds that dropped out of high school. At the time, you could drop out of high school and go make a good living working at an oil rig or whatever.
Yeah.
You could drop out of high school, go work at a factory and become a manager, right? You could achieve the American dream still.
If you had enough drive.
If you had the work ethic and were a tough son of a bitch, you could do it. How many of these fucking people got sold into essentially sex slavery and were just murdered wherever and buried, right? Because that's where my brain went to with this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's what this guy was doing. And it turns out the shit that he said about selling them, it's true. There was a network. And there's something else where they've made some arrests in Santa Clara in California that suggested the validity of Brooks' statements to the police that Coral had informed him that his earliest victims had been in California. Meaning that like maybe these dudes were like essentially trading kids off and killing them. So it could be that there's a whole bunch of these dudes, that were never found out, because if this guy wouldn't have shot Coral, they never would have caught him. They weren't even close because of the people he was picking. That's the part that's the craziest and the scariest to me.
Picking the outcasts and losers.
Picking the outcast. And now, obviously, it's a lot different. You have social media. You have CCTV everywhere. At that time, if you didn't have a telephone number listed in the yellow pages, I couldn't find you.
Or they think your family would think you went off in the carnival or whatever, right? You became a carny.
So kind of a fun story. My mom did that.
Did what?
She ran away from home at 16 and joined the circus or carnival, like dead ass. Like, and I didn't find this out until after she died. There was like a whole period where between 16 and like 19, 16 and 18, she it would have been 16 to almost 18. She had met some kid, a boy, when the carnival came through. She just dipped out with him. And this would have been in like 80, 84, 83.
Wow.
Right. So it's still back in the day. I mean, older than I am alive, but like that was right before I was born.
Yeah.
Right. 2 years before I was conceived. So like, I mean, even then people could do that shit. Now you can't do that. You can't get away with that. Maybe, but like someone's going to try and find you.
Yeah. That's a little different.
IRS, the ATF, all these 3-letter organizations. But it's just nutty when you think about it. Like it is an interesting kind of thing. Like I wonder what people got away with back in the day. And when I was thinking about this last night, go back even further. Go back 100 years before that. They got nothing. They weren't even birth certificates. They don't know who was here.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? We could be sitting.
And that's why community used to matter more, I think, too.
Yeah, sure. Basically, back then, though, you didn't get arrested and convicted unless someone saw you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then at the same time, you've got like the whole Crucible thing. Remember we talked about the Salem witch trials? He did it. I saw him.
Yeah.
Killed him. I watched him.
If it was somebody that was not liked in the community, yeah.
Right, yeah. You're an asshole.
You get tried by a jury of
Everybody
your peers.
doesn't like you. I'm a very well-to-do guy. And you know what? Shane's house is looking real nice. I'm going to buy it cheap. He killed him. Guys, he's dead. He did it. Meanwhile, I'm like knocking the blood off my shirt. He did it. And then suddenly you're fucked. So there's like a positive and a negative to it. The anonymity is nice, right?
Yeah.
The ability to remake yourself.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. You don't like who you are. You don't like where your lot in life. Go to the East Coast and become a hard worker.
Yeah.
Whereas also, I don't know. It's just neat and it's interesting. It's
There's
like
no facial recognition. You could skip town and go to a different town and be like, oh yeah, no, I came from Des Moines.
I did this in what was it? They
Sears
made us take some
Tower.
picture, and I'm like, "What is this? Some facial recognition bullshit?" And I went, "Ah." She's like, "It's not for that. I don't give a fuck, lady."
All right, grumpy. All right, one last Halloween story before we get to our listener question. This one is in Louisiana.
Paint taste.
It's set up. Yeah, I can imagine. It's set up some cases about jump scares, like haunted houses. It's called Mays versus Gretna Athletic Boosters Inc.
Maize.
Mays. Deborah Mays was a Louisiana resident. She sued a local booster club because they were doing a haunted house, and there was a jump scare. And based on her being scared, she ran into a cinder block wall.
That seems like that's a her problem.
And that is exactly what the court determined. They said when you go into a haunted house, you should expect jump scares. You have an assumption of risk, as they call it.
Shane?
Assuming risk, we've talked about that, is when you go into a situation you know it's dangerous, you are assuming that there's some risk, and you're responsible in part for that risk that's foreseeable. So going into a haunted house is exactly a place where you know there's going to be a jump scare. If you're a person that's going to jump backwards into a wall,
run face first into a cinder block wall,
that
maybe don't go, stupid.
Yeah. And there were some other decisions exactly like this that had followed. So I guess if we get this same exact scenario of somebody getting hurt after a haunted house,
We're still suing.
that is something foreseeable. This is what the defense would quote in their motion for summary judgment. They'd say, hey, based on this other state's case,
But, Your Honor,
assumption of risk, all the facts matter because there could be, what if they have some nails that are on the ground that are dark?
what if there's a piece of rebar sticking out of the cinder block?
That could be
and it
completely
jabs them in
different.
the neck.
That could be completely different. Yeah.
And I assume the risk of getting impaled?
No,
Probably not.
probably not.
If there's a dude with an actual chainsaw and he lops my arm off, what then?
You guys said you
Yeah. So,
But here's the real thing, Your Honor. See, my guy didn't do it, So we just
all right, here's our listener question for
solid
the
argument,
week.
Justin. Fucking
It's a
idiot.
good argument. Fantastic.
I just can't get over this ridiculous ass costume. Look at us. We look so fucking stupid.
I'm very ready to take it off.
Court next Thursday, the 30th.
Of course, yeah.
We're wearing
obviously.
costumes.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah. I am the subject of a protective order prohibiting me from being within 100 feet of another person, which is a normal order we see a lot.
It's not normal.
Not
happens
just 100 feet.
No, I'm saying it's not normal to get a protective order against
Well,
but it happens a lot.
It happens a lot in our cases. We still end up in the same places as it's a small town. Can I use a laser rangefinder and bounce it off of her to make sure I'm staying compliant?
Yes. I would say yes. You can
I
use a
don't see
laser
why not.
rangefinder because you don't know what 100 feet is. Some people can't just 33 yards, whatever, but you can't judge that. That being said, the rule that I always tell my clients with these is if you have to question, you're too close.
Yeah.
And if I'm standing there on the sidewalk talking to Austin about, horses or roses or whatever, and I see this person walking towards me, I guess I better go the other direction, right? Quick, fast, and in a hurry, which has always bothered me, right? It irritates the shit out of me. If I'm somewhere, like I'm in, Piggly Wiggly.
For a case that hasn't been proven yet,
Right.
presumably, right?
And Austin is the guy that's got the protection order against me because I don't know, jujitsu'd him or something. And he comes to the Piggly Wiggly with me. I'm supposed to leave. Well, I was there first, so maybe you should leave. I always think about it like two magnets that are the same, pushing each other away.
Okay.
Well, I was here first, bitch. You go.
Which is not
That's not how it works.
They're always interpreted against whoever our criminal defendant is, or the one who has any kind of extended protective order or temporary protective order.
And
Sometimes that's just how it is, and you just gotta take the high road. Okay, I'll take the high road.
I see the utility because you're the one that got in trouble, so you're the one that the courts happen to intervene in two adults situation to say, hey, you're an asshole legally, right. So I understand that, but at the same time, it is kind of stupid.
It is 100% stupid.
Bigger thing, guys, just don't do things that make it to where you need a protective order put against you.
I've never had one against me. Right. So
I haven't either.
Well,
You ever had someone try to put one against you?
no, not that I know of. Well,
I have.
Justin has an ex-wife
But
from a long time ago.
it was completely unfounded.
Yeah.
Like I got it quashed in the thing because even in the hearing, like the point was to tell me not to go to the house, and I was like, I don't go there, and the judge was like, does he go there? And she's like, no, but and it's like, okay, well if he doesn't go there, and he hasn't been coming around, he hasn't been calling you, why do I need to tell him not to call you? He's already doing that, right? I guess. Thank you, Your Honor.
What a waste of time.
Yep. But I had to go to court for it.
Yeah, and
But
if you get those
At 19 or
19
20
years old, 20
years old, almost 21, I won my first court hearing.
Hey, and look at what
And
it's led
look
to.
at me now.
Look at you now, dressing up like a clown to get more views on YouTube. And with that note, thanks for listening to another episode
Love
of
me,
Tangled
please
Rights.
follow and subscribe. It means the world to us.
Happy Halloween.
You don't understand. We'll do anything for likes.
Peace.
Bye.